Let's talk about the Super Bowl defending champions. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, they are up and at 'em. They are getting ready to get on the field together to practice to try to run it back, and they addressed the media yesterday.
What's the feeling coming into this camp?
You guys have to change your mentality as you go.
Do you like this type of talk? Do you encourage it?
What are you guys going to do to simulate games?
How do you keep guys focused on that mental challenge of knowing players are going to play better against you?
On the table for you to prove this season.
Balancing everything that's happening in the news and preparing for a season.
It's hard to see this Kansas City team in these weird, tumultuous times not making it back.
For me, it's a matter of motivation. 1, 2, 3. And success is often determined by what motivates you. For some guys, it's the Super Bowl ring.
It's really hard to win 2 in a row, especially when you're no longer the hunters, but you're the hunted.
I think this is my 22nd training camp. That's as a head coach. It's been 22. It's been, what, 29, somewhere in there, as an NFL coach. But they've all been a little bit different. The main thing, though, is that there have been great people involved.
I believe this is going on 23 training camps.
You know what? This is year 13th as a professional NFL coach.
What I remember most from the first one, I remember it was hot, and I remember Coach Reed wore the players out early. I mean, we went strong and hard for 3 days, and it was all new to, those guys in Philadelphia, but it laid the foundation and certainly built calluses for us to get through that season.
Just having an opportunity to work with a number of players, to work with great people on the staff, and then on top of that, just to get out there and do what we do best, that's coach and be a part of this game.
One thing training camp does, it brings the whole organization together, and you kind of build a bond with all of us, players, coaches, administrators. So we're all in it to try to win football games.
With the guys that we have on this team, I think everybody's hungry to go get more. And we understand that winning the Super Bowl is a day-by-day process. It doesn't start with the Super Bowl game. It starts with your first day of training camp, first day of OTAs.
Given the restrictions and the circumstances, I was trying my best to really just show up to camp ready to roll, focused and in the right mindset. This season, it's going to take a lot more focus, a lot more dedication and commitment, but you have to be in the right headspace to be able to perform at your best, play at your best, and even be the right kind of teammate for the guys around you.
Man, off season didn't go as I thought I was going to go. This COVID thing forced us to slow down and kind of look at everything from a different perspective. And just spending time with my children.
Oh, you going to Target? Okay, baby, hold on, baby. Daddy in the interview.
Man, I built the playground set for him and did a few things, this summer that, just to, spend my time wisely.
Off-season was very long. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, so it kind of was hard to train, keep your mind right, and keep it on football and everything. But definitely, it's so fun to get back with the guys, with your teammates, and everybody together trying to achieve another goal, or the bigger goal than mine. But yeah, it definitely was ready to get back and get with the guys and get this thing rolling again.
Grateful that most of our team came back from that Super Bowl. So much has been going on in the world. I think, being around your teammates, being around your coaches, being around people who you've shared great moments with. But I'm excited about the memories we're going to create going forward.
We had a staff meeting first, and we talked about that we were going to have to be ready for change, that things potentially would be up and down, but within it, we would work for consistency, which is, it was a bit unique. And then we brought the players in, and we kind of went through that same thing. What's the protocol for COVID? People were scared at that time. They didn't know.
We knew it's a risk, coming in and playing, but I mean, that's our job. That's what we love to do.
This is our sanctuary. This is where we can, be who we are. But it's a lot of restrictions. I think our coaches understood that. I think administration understood that. And then I think us as players as well, we adapted fairly well to it. Didn't hear a lot of guys complaining. And that's always a good thing when you don't have, the extra distractions that we tend to create ourselves as players.
Personally, I lost a family member to it, honestly. One of my cousins, one of my dad's very close cousins on my dad's side of the family. Man, he was just a great person. I knew him very well. You know, he was a correctional officer in a jail. So, of course, you know, it's this whole thing about, you know, the inmates in these jails in different places around the world aren't really taken care of or being, you know, watched as, you know, because of this COVID thing, and for it not to be treated and for it not to be brought into the attention of everybody, you know, in there, or it should have been more attention on, I feel. It should have been more of a thing, I want to understand, you know what I mean? It shouldn't have got to a point where he was sick and then he passed from it to, you know, for people to write a story about it or for it to be a big thing. It's controlled when you're at the building. You know, you can only do the best you can. They do an excellent job here, you know, at our building, and you know, it's really the focus on being outside of the building. You know what I mean? When you got to go into everyday life, when you got to be around your family, or you got to be around people close to you. That's the biggest concern, because you go from working in your work environment and everything's being protected and it's regulated and it's ran a certain way, to you going to the outside world basically, and it's just basically free will, you know. So it's me keeping my mask on, me keeping my hands washed. It's just stand out of people's face, really, man. You know, that 6 feet rule is true.
In life, things always happen. I mean, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as a negative, but you can look at it as a positive. The positive is we have an opportunity to do what we love, and that's to play football. We got to make sure we're doing the right things outside of the building to help us to continue doing what we want to do. That's the beauty of this. Everybody's counting on each other to do it the right way. And if you're doing it the right way, we have a chance. Not just with living in the pandemic, but it also applies to what we do as professionals. We want to make sure that we're doing it the right way and doing it for one another.
Most camps you come in and you have a couple days where you ramp up. This was 2 weeks. We had guys in the weight room and getting themselves where we could actually put pads on them and get them going.
Even though you work out and do your different things at home or wherever you're at, and you run and you're in shape, you're not in football shape. Football shape's just different. So obviously when we got back to training camp, we had a kind of like a little acclimation period where we were able to work out together with Rubes and everybody like that here.
You know, as a vet on this team, as a vet in this league, and I understand change. I understand, you know, being able to make, you know, quick changes and having to go along with it. And I feel like we adjusted pretty good. I feel like we did a good job of doing that.
I was happy that our guys came back in shape, but still, that was a needed process. And at the same time, we could do walkthroughs with the players so we could kind of go over some of the new things that we put in at a slow pace. And then after the 2 weeks, then it went to a phase 2 where you could work versus air. And then we got into phase 3, which was faster. I've been very happy with the guys on how they approached it. There wasn't a lot of complaining going on. They just dove in and went and worked very hard.
The rookies this year had quite a challenge. I mean, they missed all those OTAs and the off-season meetings and time they would have had with their coaches, and boom, they're just thrown in the fire in training camp.
For me, you would just say it's pretty normal. That was the first time that everything was happening, and you know, for rookies, I mean, we can't decipher, you know, one way or another, because that was our first interaction of being in the NFL. So the first couple days, everybody just trying to figure out what's going on.
Clyde is simple. Clyde is easy. Clyde is a hard-working kid, and that's what you love about him. He obviously has a tremendous talent. The kid can run it. He can catch it. He's learning all the languages in which we use. I'm just making sure that he's understanding how important every play and every opportunity is for him, because we didn't have that off season. The kid has done a tremendous job so far. We're excited about him, and I know he's excited to be out there and just play with those guys.
I know there was one period there was kind of a lull where I think our guys were getting bored with walkthroughs. wearing shells and not going against the offense. That's hard for a defensive crew.
After 3 or 4 weeks, I think a lot of things get old in camp.
They were so sick by that time of running around their shorts that they're going, let's just get the pads on and compete here. And so that's what we did.
Man, we spent, 6, 7 months off, basically to a point where you was craving football,
It was long overdue. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're practicing, but you're not really practicing because you're not going with pads and everything like that on, you kind of start talking. You're like, man, let's let us go. We're good. Let us go out there and play.
I get fired up about the littlest things. It could be a walkthrough. But watching those guys put the pads on and just having an opportunity to see some of these young guys that we didn't have that chance to work with during the off season, just to get on the grass and put the plastic on to go make contact, that was fun.
I'm a practice guy. I love practice. I feel like the more you practice, the less you mess up and the better you get, So I feel like I go out there every day and I'm like, I thank God for another day. And man, I just know every day that we practice, every day that I get to walk through, every day that I get to meet, it's gonna make me better September 10th when I get my chance, get my name called to go out on the field and help my team.
It feels good out here today. Let's get it now.
I think Willie Gay is going to be a guy that can really help us, really impact us in a positive way, especially when we begin to face these teams with running quarterbacks, teams that have dual threat running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
I think the biggest thing that you've seen is the mindset that they have. Every single day they're coming in and taking advantage of every rep, every opportunity they have. And that goes from Clyde, that goes to Willie, that goes to literally really anyone that's gotten an opportunity at practice that's a rookie, undrafted or drafted. And so I think if you have guys that have the right mindset, then you have guys that can really help out the team in the long run.
Practice, that's the foundation. Everything starts in practice.
That's it. Good job.
We're only out there for a few hours. You spend more times in meetings than in practice, so you got to understand when you're out in that field, man, you got to benefit as much as you can from getting your work. Practice is hard, and anybody who's ever played under Andy Reid will tell you that practice is hard. But at the end of the day, he's breeding champs.
The biggest difference between an Andy Reid football camp and other camps I've been in is that Andy Reid's there. We get a lot of work done in a short period of time, and I think that helps us when we get into the game, certainly in the fourth quarter.
Our practices are intense every day. I think that just comes with the personalities and the mentalities that we have on this team. I mean, when you have Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Honey Badger on defense, then me, Trav, Tyreek, everybody in the team, the coaches are talking trash to each other.
Good, we win. Tackle them in bounds, we win. They can't stop the clock.
Competition's everything in this, and you want the defense to challenge the offense and the offense to challenge the defense. That's the way you get better.
I love Patrick Mahomes when he's hooting and hollering because they got a first down, and then when Tyrann Mathieu turns around and we stop him and make him punt the ball, he says something back. I mean, listen, that makes it fun.
Y'all need 20 yards. It's only 10.
That's 11 yards.
That went on every day. There was a lot of talking and competition against each other, not fighting, but just competitive challenging. And Brett Veach has set it up that way. He's done a great job of bringing players in that love to play the game, love to compete, and compete against each other, but at the same time, knowing that we need everybody to go play in the league. So there's a certain way that you do that.
Sam, I drop another ball, man. Cut me. Finish, D. Finish.
Although we won the Super Bowl, everything wasn't all the way put together. So at the end of the day, we still have work to do.
It's a day-by-day process. It's knowing that you're going to get the best shot from every team that you're going to play this year. And so you have to really take advantage of every single step, every single time you're in film study, every single time you're on the practice field.
EB appreciates just being accountable of yourself, your actions, what you can control, Let's be focused on the key details. I feel like everybody appreciates it. I think everybody trying to do that, And I think Pat do a good job of that as well, He do what he has to do. Trav do what he has to do, Sammy, Tyrann, Chris Jones, Frank. I think the key players, the high players, and our organization, our teams do the right thing. So they set that example for guys like me and the younger guys, looking at them.
For me, it's about, setting the energy level.
I see you, 5. If nobody don't see you, I see you, boy.
Getting everybody to buy into that confidence, because I think, in my opinion, That's what's going to get us over tough days. That's what's going to get us through rough periods, is just having that confidence that we too can, be great. We too can succeed at what we do.
Keep building on that foundation that we started last year, yes, but it's not complete. We laid the foundation, but now we build. This ain't the same team as last year. You got to keep on going and keep on building.
The Chiefs are feeling things out, too, hosting their first event since their Super Bowl parade. Today's season ticket member day is the first of 2 scheduled at Arrowhead. 41 Action.
Yeah, we practiced over there a couple of times. I think it was good for everybody, for the organization to get game day kind of rolling. The ops people for game day were all set up, and then they let fans in. And it was on a Saturday, so people could come. It worked out well.
This weekend, we have our season ticket member day at training camp, which we're super excited about. Really important for us to be able to kind of test out some of our protocols and figure out maybe some things that we need to adjust, but also give them kind of a taste of what they're going to see when they come here for games this season. One of the things that was important for us was to eliminate crossover traffic between fans. So we implemented a zone system where fans, ticket holders will have on their ticket a specific designated entry for their parking as well as for their stadium entry. Once you get your ticket scanned, you're going to go into your seating pod location. The seating pods are in groups of 4s and 6, and it's so that you can sit with people that are your known guests are safe, and you can sit with them and watch the game. The seats that are not in use are zip tied. It was extremely important to the Hunt family and to the organization to be able to have fans at our stadium and be able to watch their team on the football field, especially coming off of the Super Bowl season that we had. But we had to do it safely, and we took that responsibility very, very seriously. And that's why we spent several months working with local officials, the NFL, University of Kansas Health System, to be able to come up with a plan that allows us to safely be able to have our fans watching our boys on the field. So I don't think there's anywhere you can't go without being able to find some hand sanitizer. So the most important things for our fans to know are to have a game plan. Know what zone that you are sitting in. The second is maintain social distance. Third is wear your mask. Wear it as you're walking into the stadium, when you get into your seats, and while you're in your seats. And the last thing that's important is have patience. We are all in this together, and it's going to take all of us to be able to keep Arrowhead a safe environment. So do your part, be a good teammate, and let's all protect the kingdom together.
The first time I'll be stepping on the field will be in cleats, shoulder pads, helmet, and just kind of mentally taking that picture from inside your helmet. When you've been playing football for so long, you can kind of imagine, how it would feel. But I mean, going out there for the first time with actual fans for the first time is going to be pretty crazy. So I can't wait.
Hot dog, man. People.
But it's always cool to get in front of the fans, especially here in Arrowhead. It's an experience like no other.
I was walking out with Anthony today, and I was talking to him. I was like, man, this thing nice. And he was telling me how like game day is really like a college atmosphere. And I was like, man, I can't wait to see it one day.
Gave the guys a little bit of juice just to know that we had some support. Training camp, you normally are up where you have a ton of people coming, especially on the weekends, but you get your mind off of actual stuff that you have to go through, the hard work you have to go through, and it adds another little bit of juice to your mind there.
Danon, we're going to do this again on a soggy Saturday.
Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning to everyone out there. We appreciate all the fans coming out, literally weathering the storm.
Yeah, we got to be here.
Going to get a chance to get a glimpse of what these guys are made of for 2020.
Right after the Super Bowl, the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, he texted Veach and I, he says, run it back. And it's not something that's conceited or not looking at the present as opposed to, expecting the future just to happen. That's not what we're looking at. We're going the hard work. Look at the hard work that it took.
We do not have to do anything else other than being ourselves.
The ups and downs of the season, the injuries that took place, guys fighting to get back out there, and the big plays that were made at crucial times. I mean, those are all things that we haven't forgotten, and we're always reminded by that saying.
But again, it's a historic day because we will be raising the flag to remember the great 2019 team and what an incredible season it run in the playoffs.
Let's be real. Run it back means, hey, let's go back to the Super Bowl and win another championship. The tough part about that is that it's not that easy. If we thought last year was hard, this year is going to be even harder.
We are celebrating a championship season, but we're getting ready to run it back with this incredible team that you see on the
I saw that on the first install, and I knew what it was from day one. I was part of a national championship team last year, so I still feel like I'm being chased. And going into an organization that's, they won the Super Bowl, I feel the same way as everybody else in the building. Let's separate ourselves and become that dynasty that this organization is building.
Raise the flag of a champion.
We had that mentality of we want to do this again. We want to enjoy that Super Bowl championship again, that parade again. It's a kind of a thing where we're talking about a long-term goal, but it's motivating us every single day to go out there and be the best player and person that we can be.
We haven't arrived yet. It's still a lot of work we need to put in. There's still a lot of people who don't believe in us.
The celebrations will never stop when you're a champ. That's what you find out. It's nothing like going back and getting it again. And that's what I know my goal is, and I know on that offensive side of the ball, they thinking the same exact thing.
I think guys are ready to go. I think that's the biggest thing. Having these training camp battles, I mean, we love competing against each other, but I think we're at a time now we're ready to play against someone else.
Mahomes fires it late. Kelsey gets into the end zone. Touchdown!
Every game that we play, it's going to be like a Super Bowl game for that opponent. But this is going to be fun because why? It's the Houston Texans. We know who they are. We know what they're going to bring to the table, and we know the different challenges that they're going to present to us. But it's up to us to come together and make sure that our guys are mentally ready and physically ready to go to battle for 60 minutes.